Welcome back, darling. This is Krista K, and I'm back again with another video. Now, if you are terminally online, like myself, even if I have exams on the rise, you probably heard or probably seen that there is this beef brewing, going all the way to court at this point, between Deborah and Coco Crazy, and with Miss Weiwei sprinkled a little bit in there. Now, if you don't know any of this, then girl, I'm here, your terminally online friend, to tell you about the tea. Okay, so let's get into what exactly happened. I got my notes, get you some tea, get you some biscuits, get you something. Okay, so this all started because Deborah posted, her name is Deborah Eris. She's a French woman, she's a French black woman who's 22 years old, 24 by the way. She posted this video on her channel about Coco Crazy and Clara Dow. Now, in her video, she just talks about how Coco Crazy is milking the situation with Clara Dow. She's, you know, dishonest in her reporting. Certain of the things that Coco alleges that Clara Dow did are actually false, but she won't tell you that because it doesn't fit her narrative, Coco's narrative. She also misrepresents a lot of Clara Dow's videos. So Clara Dow will say a specific thing and then Coco will make it seem like she's saying something different. I think the two incidents that she mentioned was the one where Clara Dow was talking about intermittent fasting, and the one about, how she went from a flat chest to now having breast implants. I ain't got no flat chest. I don't know, right? And all of this stems from the fact that Clara Dow is a body positivity channel, and she promoted it a lot during her early days in YouTube. And now she got a little bit more subscribers, and Coco feels like she switched up. Deborah, on the other hand, feels like, maybe she grew out of it, but that doesn't mean that she's no longer for body positivity. Maybe she just wanted something different for herself. Then Coco responds to Deborah's video, and she doesn't attack Deborah's points, she attacks Deborah herself. Now I don't know if she made a video or she commented about it in passing, but Deborah felt the need to respond to that, and she made her response video. And her response video was Coco Crazy, liar, manipulator, I don't know. Right? Then Coco sees this and Coco makes her video, basically calling Deborah a creep, PDF, and all of those things. I don't know if that's the last video that Coco made or that's during the height of the whole thing. Now, pin that, we're coming right back. Then Miss Weiwei makes a video talking to the both of them, basically saying how Deborah is wrong and saying how Coco Crazy is wrong. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the thing and I saw just dark. Yeah. Anyways, right? So, in that Miss Weiwei video, Coco's in the comments saying, okay, here, I understand how I'm wrong, this, that, and the third. Deborah as well is in the comment section saying, okay, I understand how I'm wrong, this, that, and the third. Now, they both stop talking about it after Miss Weiwei makes a video. Then Coco makes another video, basically saying the Coco Crazy drama or something like that, which leads Deborah to responding again, which is like, Coco Crazy, please stop. And recently, Deborah made a video, I think 5 to 6 days ago, where she says she's going to sue Coco Crazy. I think the title was clickbait, and I'll get back to that. And then a few days later, Miss Wei makes her response to Deborah, even though she doesn't mention Deborah by name. Now, so few key points. So, why did Coco Crazy call Deborah a PDF and a creep? Is because in one of Deborah's videos comment section, somebody said, I can't wait for Coco Crazy to turn 18 so she can't use the minor card. A lot of people have been accusing Deborah of basically camping to see when Coco turns 18 so she can do something to Coco. I personally, as an intellectual, I'll put it there, as an intellectual, I saw it as Deborah basically saying now they can no longer hide behind the fact that Coco is a minor, which exalts her from everything. hint that as well. We're coming back, right? Um, why did Miss Weiwei make a response video? So, in Deborah's video where she says she's going to sue Coco Crazy, I think in the comments or something like that it was mentioned how like uh I think either in the video, either in the comments, it was mentioned how Miss Weiwei was also like involved, but it wasn't in the sense of she's going to sue Miss Weiwei, but in the sense of everything that Miss Weiwei said regarding the situation regarding Deborah and Coco Crazy. Deborah had screenshotted it and sent it to her lawyer. Okay, so now let's go step by step on what we know. Right. Let's start first with the lawsuit. Now, from my understanding, Deborah came on the internet and she said somebody's creating 5 to 6 accounts on Instagram, sending me racial, insulting messages, threatening to dox me and harassing me. Okay. Initially how she responded is that she said she was going to get her family member that's in IT to find out who's the person behind the account and expose that person. I think a lot of people, when she said that, they were like, "Oh, so you're gonna dox Coco Crazy, dox a bunch of minors?" No, she just said that she was going to dox the person that is threatening her and harassing her. For the champions of what is legal and what is illegal, it's not illegal to use an IT degree and find out who's behind an account. A bunch of people do that. I'm so sorry. I don't know. A bunch of I've seen this on freaking Twitter every single day. It's not doxing. Doxing would require Deborah to take that information and go deep and finding out the name of this person, the age of this person, and private information. Private information is your name, surname, your age, your home address, all of those things. Things that you have not voluntarily posted on the internet. Meaning, I've told you guys my name. My name is Akrista. Okay. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know my actual surname. I told you how old I am. If you go on and you are like, this is Akrista Kadimba, that is my surname. You can look it up. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm everywhere. You look up Akrista Kadimba and you're like, she's 24-year-old Akrista Kadimba, here's her picture. And you post that, you didn't dox me. Because it's information that I've already shared on the internet. However, if you in that message post where I live, my mom, my dad, all of these people's information, that is doxing because I've never told y'all what my mom's name is. I've never told y'all what my dad's name is. I've never told you my brother's name. None of that. You can guess. You can go through my followers account and figure it out. But if I didn't tell you and you post that in a message, you're officially doxed to me. Okay, with my address, my number, all those things, you have officially doxed me. Okay, right? So it's not illegal for Deborah to find out who's behind those accounts. What is illegal is what she does with that information. Okay, and it depends on how, like, the levels on what she do. If she just tells you Coco Crazy made this account, she didn't dox anyone. If she gives you Coco Crazy's real name and says this person doxed my account, that's harassment, whatever, that is actually doxing because I don't think anybody knows Coco Crazy's real name. Okay, so that is the lawsuit. The lawsuit is just her taking the person that's harassing her to court. That's it. Everybody that has been spreading lies that she's doxing Coco Crazy, she has never done. There's not one screenshot even that Coco Crazy showed that said that she was gonna dox somebody. She just said she's going to find somebody in her family that does IT to find out who the account owner is. Now, Coco Crazy, to me personally, that screenshot showed that you are the one behind that account, and that's why you're shaking your boots. And the fact that you used the minor card again, girl, that just gonna piss me off, bro. But I'm gonna get into it, right? That is the lawsuit. We are done, right? Let's take off the pen. Minor card. A bunch of y'all are either very disingenuous, very dishonest, or you just picked a side and you don't want to tell the rest of the world. In no way, shape, or form did Deborah ever make any threatening messages or threatening harm to Coco Crazy that would elicit a bunch of y'all to be like, oh, uh, she that comment just weird. That comment is weird. No, that comment was perfectly normal. Because every single time we want to criticize Coco Crazy, here comes the she's a minor, she's a teen, that is the card. You see the race card? When something happens, you're like, but I'm black because I'm black because I'm black. That's a card that you're pulling. Every time we want to criticize Coco Crazy, here comes the she's a teen, she's 17, she's not an adult, she's that and the third. So Deborah and her fans are saying, I can't wait till she's 18. So y'all can't be out here acting like we can't talk about her anymore. We can't vote. She Voldemort now. She can't be Voldemort no more because she 18 now. We can talk about her. We can drag her. That's all. That is all. You guys made it out to seem way more deep than it is. You guys made Deborah out to be somebody that she's not. And that to me was very disgusting. Incredibly disgusting. And pinned it again because Miss Weiwei talks about that in her video, and I found her comments regarding that to be very, very wrong. To be very, very wrong. Okay? I don't remember the first pin we had, so drop that, babes. Okay, then we're gonna talk about, but that's it. Now we're gonna talk about Miss Weiwei. Now, in all of this, in everything that I've mentioned, Miss Weiwei made her video, her first video, where she was low key, unbiased, but a little more high key, like towards Coco's side, where she just talked about what Deborah did wrong, what Coco did wrong. I did appreciate, sorry, that she did tell Deborah, if this is bad for your mental health, just take a break. I promise you, it will do you so much good to just take a break from YouTube if you can't handle like what comes with having a YouTube platform and doing commentary. Did Deborah take a step back and no longer do YouTube? No, because she started this for fun, just like me. I started my channel for fun. I'm not gonna stop having fun because a bunch of weirdos are in the comment section. However, I do think that at the time, Miss Wei was very neutral, even though she leaned a little bit more towards Coco Crazy, but she was neutral. But in this recent video that she made, oh, Lord have mercy. I felt like her emotions were everywhere. And let me say something. Let me just start with something. Miss Weiwei is Christian, and so am I. I did not appreciate her comments that she said, "Oh, you're not David. You're not David." Something David Goliath, because I think Deborah made reference to David and Goliath, and Miss Weiwei was like, "Well, you're not David." As a Christian, it's very, very like disheartening. I think that's the word. Disheartening for you as a Christian to not understand what she meant by that. For you to act like she's saying that just like a hee hee ha ha or whatever. Whatever it is that you think she meant by that. You clearly understand what she meant. David and Goliath. Goliath was a big man. He was a big man that was in a way in David's on David's way. In David's way, he was blocking David's way, basically, right? And he was an enemy to David and his people. Deborah mentioning David and Goliath is basically meaning that no matter how big you are, I will defeat you. I will put myself in David's shoes and I will defeat you, Goliath, who is my enemy, who is somebody that's bigger than me and that is doubting me and my God. That is how I understood it. I don't know why Miss Weiwei understood it differently, but once again, I think she was highly emotional. Number 2, I don't understand why we're doing misère Olympic, sadness Olympic, mental health Olympic, even like what are we doing? Deborah has been mentioning even from her first video how she suffers from mental health, right? How she has a lot of mental health issues, right? For Miss Weiwei to then be like, "Oh, but you're not the only one." Deborah never said she was the only one. She never said that. She just said that maybe she takes things way too personally, or she feels a little bit deeper about certain situations because of her mental health. So for Miss Weiwei to be like, "Well, I'm also going through things. Why are you dismissing? You see what you're doing? You're saying that she's dismissing other people's mental health while actively dismissing Deborah's mental health issues. We can all have our issues and still point it out. Just because Deborah's dealing with her own mental health issues does not mean that Miss Weiwei is not dealing with her own mental health issues. Does not mean that Coco's not dealing with her own mental health issues. Doesn't None of y'all are better than each other for dealing with mental health issues at a greater scale. You're all on the same plate. I felt like that was just not necessary. You didn't need to mention that because everybody else understood that, yeah, okay, Deborah, you're dealing with mental health issues, but that's not like a thing that you need to pull out every single time because all of us are dealing with something. All of us are dealing with mental health issues. So you didn't have to do that whole segment. You didn't have to. And to me personally, it felt like, uh, like when somebody gets hurt and they mention that they're hurt, and then you're like, well, I got my foot chopped off, and you see I'm perfectly fine. Miss Weiwei, in that response, you did not look perfectly fine. You didn't. To me personally, as somebody that watched previous videos that you've made in passing, I could tell that you were highly emotional in that video. And if it's maybe because of what you're going through, 100% I understand. If that's the case, you should have never made this response. You making this response as emotionally as you were at the time, to me, it felt weird. Okay? Miss Wei also mentioned how Deborah says she's not a commentating channel or commentary. That's the word. It's not a commentary channel. She's not in commentary. She's not like you guys that are. Once again, as somebody that speaks French, I probably think that she didn't mean it the way the English people perceived it. I think how she meant it is most of her channel is not commentary. She just did these 3 videos where she speaks. These 4 videos where she speaks. Most of her videos are just reactions. So she doesn't fall under the commentary bubble. Miss Weiwei, Coco Crazy fall under the commentary bubble because that's what 99% of their channel is about. Commentary. Discussing topics. Talking about people. That makes you commentary. Look at me. I only did like 3, 4, 5 videos on where I talk and give my opinion. That doesn't make me a commentary channel. That makes me a reaction with a little bit of commentary and vlog sprinkled in there. But my bread and butter is reaction. That's what Deborah meant. You can take offense to it. You can. But I don't think that's how Deborah meant it. Now, if she meant it the way you took it, it is what it is. If what I'm saying is far-fetched, I apologize. I take my comments back. Right? I just felt like that response to Deborah was very distasteful. Especially, it gave to me the feeling that you didn't watch Deborah's video unbiasedly. You watched it with a lot of emotions because you went into it thinking that she was attacking you, and that's how you took everything as an attack. Now, my pain is coming off again. Miss Weiwei said something very interesting to me that I completely disagreed with her 100%. She said, I was lenient towards Coco because the court as well would be lenient to her because she is a minor. This sentence told me everything I needed to know about this whole Coco being a minor being brought up every 2 seconds when people have a disagreement with her. You guys think that because she's younger and she's a minor and she's still under her parents' roof, that if she were to do something that is totally unacceptable, the law would just give her a pat on the back and send her way, and that's all. If that is the case, then next time a child does something that is out of pocket, please give them the same leniency that y'all gave Coco Crazy. Because today is talking shit about somebody, tomorrow is slapping somebody and then hiding behind the fact that she's a minor when she did that. Or doxing somebody and then being like, but you can't take me to jail because I'm a minor. That's not how life works. Once again, I'm 24, but my whole life, I've known that if I do something bad, regardless of my age, I need to answer to it. If you're on the internet, and I'm being so deadass, if you're on the internet and you choose to do illegal things on the internet, such as doxing, threatening, harassing, saying statements that as a fact that you and I both know are not a fact, stating them as such, which is defamatory, and you hiding behind the fact that you're a minor to escape responsibility, that is not how the real world works. I'm sorry to tell you this, Coco. I'm sorry to tell you this, Miss Weiwei. That's not how the real world works. And even if the court, instead of giving her 10 years, to give her 5 months, does that mean that us as a society, we should accept that? We should accept that? Diddy, sorry to bring this up, Diddy committed atrocities for decades and only got 15 months, and everybody's up in arms about it. So, do you really think that it should just be limited to how the court views certain things on how we should behave as a society? That is your metric? That is your metric? That's crazy to me. If Coco did, in fact, dox, harass, threaten Debora, she should be treated the same way adults that dox, threaten, and harass people are treated. And a bunch of people wanted to mention, this is besides Miss Wei, that oh no, she's in France and Coco's in the US or wherever the hell she is, or Miss Weiwei is in another country. That's not how it works. My lawyer can reach out to a court in your country and you will still get sued. My lawyer could freaking fly to a country. All he needs is a flight. He could fly to your country to sue you. I googled it. I looked it up before I started this video. Even if she's in France and Coco is in the US, if you have grounds to sue and your lawyer is like, yeah, we have grounds to sue, let's go to the US and actually see on what grounds we can sue her, you will get sued. Whoever's harassing, doxing, and threatening Debora will get sued. Okay? In conclusion, right? Do I think that one of them is more wrong than the other? Okay? Do I think that they could have handled this differently had they all just calmed down and chilled and maybe took a step back from the internet? 100%. Could this have been dealt with differently if people on Coco's end were like, Coco, stop? People on Debora's end were like, Debora, stop? 100%. However, I'm putting myself in Debora's shoes, and me getting attacked by a creator that I barely even talked shit about, and them sending all of their 387 subscribers to my channel to call me names, to call me childish over something that I didn't even do, right? All I did was, tell the person that I think that you're reporting is disingenuous, and all of a sudden I'm getting all this hate. All of a sudden I got all these people calling me out of my name. I would feel some type of way. I would 100% feel some type of way. Do I think that Coco needed to respond? No. Do I think Miss Weiwei needed to make a recent response? No. So on my personal opinion, I'm more on Debora's side than I'm on Coco Crazy's side. And not because I don't like Coco Crazy or I don't like Miss Weiwei or I like more Debora. No, because I looked at it unbiased. Coco called Debora a PDF and a creep. Over Debora just saying, Coco, stop lying. Does that make you think that maybe one of them is taking a little too far compared to the other? And the only thing a bunch of you have to say against Debora is, oh, she made that comment about Liam Payne, and she made that comment about Coco being 17 and not 18. That does not warrant y'all calling her a PDF. Do you know what a PDF is? Do you know what type of treatment people that are considered PDF get? If you don't throw around those type of words. Don't at all. Be very, very careful about the things you say on the internet, because it will come back to you. I wish the best for Miss Weiwei. I saw at the end of the video, that her family members are going through a lot, so I do wish her the best. I don't wish anybody bad in this video. I don't at all. I just wish that people would stop acting like because someone has a bigger platform and more fans that makes them right. That because they speak a specific way without an accent or they look a specific way without, I'm not gonna talk about the elephant in the room, but just because a person isn't doesn't mean that they're right, okay? And some of the comments that Deborah has been receiving, very hurtful. Now my room getting darker, right? Um, and yeah, if we can just take this to court and see where it goes, then take it to court and see where it goes. For everybody that's trying to discourage Deborah from speaking, put yourself in her shoes. That's all I'm going to say. Put yourself in Coco's shoes as well. Put yourself in Miss Weiwei's shoes at this point. Put yourself in everybody's shoes, right? And I want to leave this for everybody that's a minor, that thinks that because they're a minor they get a pass. You do not. You do not. If you're gonna pop your shit, if you're gonna talk shit and listen, talk your shit. Go ahead. This is a free word. In America, you got a First Amendment right. You can do whatever you want to do. But if you talk your shit and I end up clapping back, don't be talking about my age. Cause I promise you, ask my little brother, 16 years old, I will be 16 that day. You think you can take it? You can take it to the ground? I'll take it to hell. I'll take it to hell. I'm not like that, bro. I'll take it to hell. Okay. Anyways, that was today's video. Deborah, I hope that you feel better after this whole fiasco, Miss Weiwei. I hope your family member feel better. Family members, because it's two, if I'm not mistaken. Coco Crazy, I hope you also feel better. And if anybody's mental health has been affected by the situation, I hope you heal. We need healing in this world. No more fighting. Bye.